twirimu court do wagya wo nyina na de ya ne se na anu ya yi sadinam tamaklu 500 million Ghana cedi fraud wono Mahama baya wo se wagya no de ntia wagya no be kire wade enanu be ka kire mo se NDC aban Mahama pese wo sawra ne bio na manfo se bi agro na yidi enra wasoma na Attorney General say o me ka kire Ghana for say sisi watu na yi no 5 years tia.
The government has accepted a recommendation to extend the term of office of the president from 4 years to 5 years, with the term of parliament extended to correspond with this. Our thinking is practical. Under the current 4-year cycle, the early months of every administration are consumed by transition matters, and the final year is largely consumed by elections. A 5-year term provides a more realistic time frame for the formulation, implementation, and assessment of government policy. Still on the presidency, the committee recommended that the minimum age of eligibility for election as president be reduced from 40 years, currently in the constitution, to 30 years. The government has accepted this recommendation in principle, subject to one modification. The minimum age will be 35 years.
Okay. Abusia sa wonti ya yebo amane. NDC aban na aba ye ka kire no mwanti. Mahama no ano opposition I was say 4 years kra ye enough. Say on any part MP NDC for no. Omukuta numbers in parliament. Say omo dey call 5 years. So Mahama it gives him the chance to run for another term. Let no one fool you. NDC strategy for John Mahama to take Ghana Senadia. They are working a strategic move. One I want to see. Ye can so much in constitution if you agro. Say proposal woman abina jatum. Na de hu say Mahama 5 years now was one SCS or de ban Ghana for here 5 years no. And no to kwan. Or to opposition no. Or catch say aban here say obeje 5 years or 4 years cry enough too much. Ora muntino tia.
4 years of a good leader will make more impact than 8 years of a dishonest leader. It's not about how long you serve. It is about how well you serve.
And this is the man or opposition no Kenyans asem we. And never say twan ho say oba bedu abem no we here 5 years. Na musa say 4 years no why day. One catch say it's not about how long you serve, it's how well you served. Mumusa John Mahama ba ye. Dear no why 1 year yi. Nkofo a aye dwirim. Wo ma di dwirim o. Waja wo nyina ahwade. Wo de hwesika no. Collins Awuda $2 million. Dr. Ernest Thompson 40 million. Sadinam Tamaklu 500 million. Ato Forcing 2.37 million pounds euros. Aquabrando for says 3.3 million Ghana cedi. Whatever. Wonyina wajamu. Cocoa board opuni say 270 million Ghana cedi. Hwade. Richard Dakwa 2.7. Whatever. Enipa na wo ba besom Ghana. Mumusa ne say what be day, what ye day, what the 5 years and what the ye day question no what the be day. Mumusa. Nanum die hu kura asem we me come can be you say. And run Attorney General no sa ka asem bi say. Wo ma say ye fro dual na first no ukuta dual passport wa. Wo ye dual citizen na untimi ma me pray for member of parliament. Untimi the president. And ne John Mahama say Niger for ni nyina betima be di MP. On say na Niger for no air cry say ye mo citizenship. Eti ne omo nyina betima be MPs. Ti ha say.
The government has also accepted a recommendation on dual citizenship. A citizen of Ghana by birth who holds the citizenship of another country will no longer be barred from contesting for election to parliament only on account of his or her dual citizenship and will not be required to renounce the other citizenship. The current disqualification sits uneasily with our engagement with the diaspora and with the realities of modern citizenship.
Enti bachosote ye mo amuti abroche mo nhyane nso obeda sorry now parliament wo Nigeria for aye homa Niger for Somalia for ne ayi for no nomadic for ne gu ha e ma ne nyonwa because omo na fight sa de we eye Niger for no wo Ghana omo na fight Fulani for no obeda sorry no mu parliament wa e ma ne nyonwa me de nkaibo enam de bae obeda sorry na wo mu parliament e say no okuta passport we are to be Ghana so de easy to get Ghanaian passport it is say no wo mu nyina na obeda sorry no mu parliament wo e na free SHS ni ade no so wo mu so na kono wo mu na sa wododo se wa study Ghana say akanfo no ngubi o wo mu e free Niger Somalia ne Fulani fo no na ewu bebre Hausa fo wo more wo mu be take over because wo mu man be go school because mo papa mu ye business akanfo no mu ye business tienie into obeda sorry no government position na Fulani fo take over maso be chef rough tienie abana motuma Mahama no de wode mo ekono no abana mkotuma NDC no ba bia John Mahama de madu no say obe use parliament obekọ the next term tinie pa ono asa ko use parliament no ekoja to say dual citizen enye nka hwebio enso o man bi sa America kura no a wo mkuta security no wo mkuta security ni munyansa bebre no ukuta dual citizen a federal job untimi nye tienio federal job bia no wo ye dual citizen abetimi aye untimi nye federal job hospital o aprapra kura na federal job ni tua wo ka untimi nye bi because ukuta dual citizenship omukura no mkuta security ti wiase edi wiase so no how much more all because enipa when this bebre nya Ghana for omo nananum mfiri kuro no ntino omo pese omo tu kuro na sawram sana Ghana akoye kofo bebre we NDC mu mfiri Ghana omo nananum mfiri ba bi na betena kuro no ntino omo agenda ebe se Ghana ene omo ye tie de yakana obeka se ena obi mpo bia ye obi nka se obi ntena ba bia wo ye tete obi ma but do a omo the systems tina me chiro say America betuma a citizen but omo restrictions se wan denounce all citizens no anya fu American federal job untimi nya bi obia obi ti America mu so omo say wow kuta dual citizenship obetuma federal job wana untimi oma onye odi green card kwa ko military mu a unya clearance security clearance unya bi omo nclear sa ukuta green card na udu kowura soja mu a soja ndi obeko ombe passport but unya clearance na omo nya ma oda tidiye ka chiro no omo nya ma enti yeye no ayeti ye kroma yeye ni hwe no ye ni security no and mesi Fulani fo no be won ba be gu parliament wo de se wa because omo shada bie sister won go akuje to ashada ye Ghana ye bie boda obi amra Ghana ye trick dientia omo mba ni nyina nso omo click omo ni NDC for click because omo mba no do na ye quote on quote omo ye nkramofo omo ye ase northerners style bi into omo nyina ba party omo kondo NDC it abide nim say wo pese wo keep NDC in power for so long it said ye koso Rwanda it NDC strategic way no Ghana for nim say Ghana for no omo didi me they don't care it they are working on this said ye be inviting ko for be bra mo ba gukuro no no omo nyina ba nya passport no omo nyina ba citizen no matter about NDC into another way to collapse MPP but one here I won't tiase into omba saso a omo nyina ba ye bring wo so omo say akanfo no na ase Ghana omo wi Ghana sika into mun target wo AC 79 yes sanity but typical Ghana no one say just a normal thing into bo say ombe target akanfo no it won't be wood woman and beba no more begum no more bar omu can in fear or bread was in fear mamia tony no omfi say ya ban sika no more target them so they stand to lose nothing it will make me a cause any protest disturbance at any time omonte de yekoso na say de yekoso Nigeria no Ghana ye the next because enya former ye woni oyeni hwe nti ye kase ye se ade ye be se no Ghana sisi en akamfo na build more it politicians use nkofo beguma when so mo kay so sia hwan ye be say no mo na mo be lose ni nyina ya bas the same level JJ Rollins ye be 1979 very dangerous but you see ye nya intellectual politicians am mo nchacha asem num say de ye no ehu o ti Germany ti Spain o to baby a wote no ukuta dual citizen obetuma akoya ban adwuma Ometwa ntwema omo ntwema da just what declare ho na what sound ho say woni ukuro ni awie hwede dwom Mahama ne nkrofo ye enne Fulani fo no eba begu Ghana ye kasu ba omo ye gina live ba omo ye ne ire ehye wan kona omo twen omo.
The government has also accepted a recommendation on dual citizenship. A citizen of Ghana by birth who holds the citizenship of another country will no longer be barred from contesting for election to parliament only on account of his or her dual citizenship and will not be required to renounce the other citizenship. The current disqualification sits uneasily with our engagement with the diaspora and with the realities of modern citizenship.
We NDC nya mawrenho. We NDC nya mawrenho se okofa aban we be see Ghana for so. Enne omo use parliament na moto abama omo no. Omo de omo ye. De tine say de eniyema ehia Ghana no Mahama so onye. Obi edi sika se dinam tamaklo. Na watimi akwatu pake court say monko clear no. Na mumusa say senka onye criminal offense bia na kese okojela. Eye de no mutimi initiate extradition process ekofa ne say chinchina ekofa ne from America ba Ghana. Mu de mumusa wo. Court no say se dinam tamaklo nya hwe a. Eye de no mu initiate extradition process ma America for stay case no sampa wa ye criminal offense. Tieso America for bua na yema ne ko Ghana. Na okoko 7 jail 10 years jail term no. 500 million Ghana cedi wafa. Wa disika no. NDC aban ba ya wo se waja no. Sa nipa we se wo no pre. Enipa we e pre another term. Na mote ho ye koka mo se buei. Okoka sesi ya mo se o da bi menka. Enka yentie former attorney general ebra mo ball charge no na muntie almost 70 counts ni nyina ball lady no tia
reviewed the documents personally when the copies were made for us to have a look at it by the attorney general and to have a conference to discuss the details. I actually cringed. I couldn't believe it. The facts were like they were concocted, to be very honest with you. The facts were like they were concocted. Because this was not just stealing, but as to borrow a word from Dom, naked thievery. You know, in one of the charges, something, do you know what happened? The boss of Maslow decided to give a loan to a rural bank. And they did not even reach any agreement. Yet the money was transferred to the rural bank.
Obey why is hani ma we nyina wo said nam tamaklo deputy attorney general ene kasa no ono aka say ontua sika 10,000 mo bia no waye ne 300,000 said nam tamaklo sika wa fa no maslo ye say de bebu ahiafo maslo ye de bu ahiafo edwemfo wa fa oye NDC ninti on say omo play tribal card in order to protect themselves and go after akanfo no okoka ye nkrofo no bi adwen o madwene mu memre o monte ase onse ye ja no 500 million causing financial loss to the state, stealing, thievery, criminals. Mahama se waja no oti wo say untumi akoye de na to Mahama ye good onye serious onte politics ase Supreme Court a court of appeal akotena se eja no One don't go judges no why anyam Mahama judges no do mkoye na Attorney General say otimi chese or ade figures te said the ohwe nsu agu fom no said na tamaklo hwenkrofo we nyina Mahama ba ye wa clear wo mo ekuro na Mahama se wo pe another term e de move on na wo ba ye Ghana yie no wo mo awia Ghana sika a ese sika ye de to hospital beds wo se waja wo mo oto wagije Mahama so ye ka Mahama se mana wo bibi ye wo enne wo se Fulani fo nyina betima be MP enne ono ne parliament no o ma pass say obi kuta dual citizen esa wo man renounce wo se da bi obetima be MP minister president. This is very dangerous, and the next 50 years anko fo mu nyina be wu ajaye wo mu ta esaboni de ajaye ne ya bebre na de ekoso Sokoto Nigeria no ebi ato ye. This is Ghana. Very interesting times ahead. Very dangerous people. Politicians we mono. Omunye. na ye nan kosoria afi na attorney general say ai wo be court no akọ fight tickets no SSK Court of Appeal eja woman no ye trick bi a wo dey.
This morning the Court of Appeal issued a decision unanimously acquitting and discharging Sedina Atienu Tamaklo, who was convicted of various offenses in absentia because, she was standing trial, and in the course of the trial, she sought permission to travel abroad for medical reasons and then remain in the United States for the rest of the trial. The trial court convicted her of the offenses charged, and then an appeal was filed by her lawyers in May 2024. I want this to be made abundantly clear that it was my predecessor who filed the appeal. However, coming into office, I reviewed what was filed, and I directed the Director of Public Prosecutions to file opposing the appeal, because we believe that the High Court judgment had merit. Now, with this judgment, I have also directed the Director of Public Prosecutions to file a notice of appeal and apply for stay of execution, meaning that if the stay is granted, the status quo will prevail until such a time that the Supreme Court has had time to review the appeal and then made a determination. So that is all that I can say for now. I have a soft copy of the judgment.
Mo fa mo bro for some copy be ntam yanwen. The next day over so ye court ra judge na mfie ntie no anu because we are dealing with the judges. Amuka se enkwasiafo. The next day over so ya for process no so na amfa. Because judges no mgo no NDC a packet court no. Obai within 1 year, packet court over 100 judges. 1 year, Mahama baye over 120 judges and Odoma go court no. Just 1 year, and imagine the next 4 years. Is that I say 3 years? Judges and Quebec 300 and Odoma go. Now, what the case be a conversation? Or in favor of the government? It's part of the democratic system. Dear Nabe, to know what can work can quasi mommy and a plan work. But point and say, you see, the NDC tribal card and one here I want to see. They do all this in favor of them because Omuni may be almost strong good. One here I want to see. And what was say, and John Mahama or Pegana Sevna, Debbie, or play tribal card hegemony. Now, you find you and come for you find your mass more thing. Yet your boy, I know the actually. Your boy, no, the actually. Obia disika when you want to me, suddenly I'm to me, case the come tell me. At the end, what disika 500 million Ghana city. Oka says, I to own, and you have 40 say. Hesika and Kofone dia waja woman in a way. Listen no. So sika. State law so sika nko media waja wom. So sika o media waja wom. Sa nipa we na wo to say Mahama ye dey. Munye funny.
When the money go to the account of the rural bank, the people then ask, okay, so what is the interest rate of the money you have sent to us? Imagine something that you should have done earlier was not even done. Then the interest rate was then quoted by Sedina. When the interest rate was quoted, the rural bank management said, look, the interest rate you have quoted, if you pick this money, we cannot make any money out of it, so we want to return it to you. What do? Good corporate practice. You write to them and give your account, Sh0ck account. Then they pay the money directly into the account and produce receipt for accountability purposes. You know what she said? She directed them to cash the money and bring it to Accra. And then they cash the money in a Ghana must go, carried it to Accra. They met at Bachona filling station, Total filling station, and the money was packed into her boot and she drove away. And that ended it. She's been convicted of that particular child. So then the second one. Yes. I'm giving you, I'm just itemizing them because I have.
So, and here for crew noir. Enipa edwane ko Dubai ne Qatar no. Okwabrane obabesia Sedinam Tamaklo. Se sesika no so mofangu kato no de abane de agu kato no de ko. Waye hu say tam. To be sorry. 90s will play tribal card now. You by respond to one who beat was oh there be yeah mamunya tribal politics. Won't kasa won't tiase. Mami ye won't take Ghana say. Ghana corruption edware aban ye ni mbabia nkrofo ni nyina fi because one more a prayer aban adwuma we know them and on public records enya kanfo na do so aban adwuma we know them but omunya no mu de asie akanfo no koye bibi ga na we mu hwe eno mu de mo japade a kire ye nkrofo no so no eni bre ni jiminti no mo sing the team but Ghana open corruption wa aban adwuma we know all of them from Kwame Nkrumah person wo mo na ye adwuma wa aban mu ye nim ni nyina Ghana no obi afi bia no betima kire obi a na ade na ho de wo we know look at them abai bai what is all persecute it is not necessary by MPP what omo ni wiase e west ni other tribes say wo MPP omo de omo mo okro no da enso obai no hwe listen e ba bonte no monye smart NDC play tribal politics trying to use hegemony strategical way na yen Crawford ejije so and we just said nam tamaklo waja no ye bia phone line no yen fancy kire wadwene yen koyenim yen koye adwuma foforo why me dem ba be bo mama ne me de asem ne brem ye din komo bebre why